back to in the vlog, guys. It's been a little while since I updated, maybe about a year. So now that the weather is kind of cooperating a little bit more, I'd like to get back into it. So the in the woods vlog is just about the woods, my experiences in the woods, what we find in the woods, what we like about the woods. It's nice and quiet, lots of wildlife, and just things like that. So if you haven't already subscribed and you want to see more about the woods, or maybe you aren't even able to access the woods because you live in the big city or something, some of this stuff is pretty interesting, and I'm going to learn about it as we go. Hopefully you can too. I've lived here 5 or 6 years now with my fiance, and we love it. We learn every single year something new pops up, and we learn a little bit more. Like today, I just wanted to do this little quick update and talk about a flower that is blooming in the woods, and it's called the Showy Trillium. It's one of the few that actually produces a flower, and here it is right here. So there you can see the white flower, the 3 leaves of foliage, and the yellow on the inside. It's pretty neat. It's actually kind of cool. It's really neat to see this type of thing in the woods, because most people associate just the woods with just trees and bear, of course, but there are some really neat things to look at, and the flowers, the weeds, the plants, all that pop up are part of that. So that's the Showy Trillium. There is another Trillium that pops up. It's still growing. It's probably about a foot tall, about 4 or 5 inches taller than that one, and it's called there goes a swallowtail. Swallowtails are here pretty early this year. It seems early. I don't know, maybe it's because it's, you know, 40 degrees outside on May 6th. But maybe they're right on time. You know, nature has its own clock. So anyway, back to the Trillium. Those pop up usually the end of April into May, and that's the first time we start looking for Morel mushrooms. That was another thing we're going to do on this channel, is take you on a few trips through our woods, maybe even through state forest nearby, to look for the prized Morel mushrooms. That's for another episode. Subscribe if you'd like to see that, some tips on how to find them and cook them and eat them. They're very good. Not like any other mushroom. Put enough butter on it, it tastes good, right? So, okay, so the other Trillium pops up, and it starts out with like a little spear in the ground. It looks very creepy. I mean, the batches of them that pop up are bigger, and they look like little fingers coming out of the ground, and about 2 weeks later, boom, you got yourself a weed-looking flower that stays green most of the time, but then it shoots a little white flower out. So I'm going to show you a batch of those right here, and you can kind of see what they look like. They're very similar to the Showy Trillium, but not exactly. So here you can see foliage. There's 6 leaves on there. The bud in the center, that's definitely going to pop out. There's a flower, and then there's a seed. Looks like a little ping pong ball that pops out underneath them. But they are pretty big batches. And here's some more over here. These are all just planted by nature. You know, but you can see the large stalk. They're very sturdy even in this wind. And in a couple of weeks, maybe even just a week, we'll see a flower there. So we'll come back and we'll take a photo or two of those. I'd like to do an episode that showcases just all the blooming things in the woods. So that'll be a future one, maybe in about 2 weeks when everything is situated, because there's some really weird looking stuff. A lot of wildflowers and the Trillium, of course. So if you think that's kind of interesting, go ahead and subscribe to my vlog, and we'll take you through the woods and we'll try to learn as we go. Take a look at some of my other videos, see what you think. There's a lot of fungus on there that's interesting. I'm gonna cover all the critters you can find in the leaves, spiders and beetles and other creepy crawly things. So I guess that's it. I'm gonna end this update here, but I just wanted to let you know I'm gonna hopefully be making more of these each week and uploading them as fast as I can. So leave your questions in the comments below and we'll see if I can help you out with something in the woods. See ya.